Hey ladies, it's Natasha. So with this month, I have not really done anything um, to help get pregnant because this has been Shark Month. So there's 1 month of trying and then 1 month of hell. So I didn't want to sit there and only do a video every other month. So I figure with the in-betweens, any questions that I had during the month of trying that I would post during the month of Shark Week, the extended time, and give any additional information that I wouldn't normally give during the month of trying. So I'm going to start off with I've mentioned in other videos how I take melatonin to help me sleep because I have really bad insomnia, so I can sometimes go anywhere from 3 to 7 days without sleeping. And it may seem like bullshit because that's a really long time, but it is true. I can go a really long time without sleeping. And it's not that I don't get tired. I can be tired, but I have learned that once I get past a specific level of tired, that I become so tired that I'm hyper. And then I just can't sleep. And I also have, like, my job is doing makeup. So it is a job that I love more than anything. And so I have another YouTube channel where I do my makeup on. And so if I sit there and I start thinking of makeup that I want to do, next thing you know, I'm excited to do it, so then I can't sleep and I don't have something to shut my mind off. So I will just lay there and either daydream or want to listen to music or think about something that I want to do when I wake up or think about something that I'd rather be doing instead of trying to go to sleep. And so sometimes I have a really hard time like calming my body to go to sleep. And so I've also said that sometimes melatonin doesn't work for me, that it's like taking it for so long, then all of a sudden my body is just like, no, this isn't going to work for me anymore. And so then I have trouble going to sleep even with melatonin. Melatonin will feel like it's sometimes doing the opposite and it's just waking me up even more. So I said that there was different types of melatonins that I jump between. And so I will take what I do now, and it seems to be working for me really well, and it's not making me drowsy, which sometimes if I take too many melatonin, I sleep for 5 hours or so, but then I feel really tired later in the daytime, and so I had to cut back on taking the amount of melatonin that I was normally taking. So I was taking just normal melatonin. This is a 5 milligram melatonin. I was taking 10 milligrams, and that was the highest that I could get my hands on. And so this is 5 milligrams, and I ended up, this works a lot better for me, and that's because I mix it with magnesium. So one of my friends is a nurse, and so I asked her about sleeping and everything, and so she said that it could be that I don't have enough magnesium in my body, and so magnesium can sometimes affect someone's sleeping, and so she told me to start taking magnesium. So when me and my husband were looking for magnesium vitamins so I could start taking them, we found Magnesium Night. So it has 100 milligrams of magnesium and 3 milligrams of melatonin in it. I don't know if you can. So that is what I have been taking mixed with this. So it may seem like a lot that I'm doing, but when I'm on the month of trying, I will take 1 magnesium and 2 of the melatonin. And I have heard that taking melatonin while trying to get pregnant will stop you from getting pregnant. So what I'm going to do today is I am actually gonna look up as much information as I possibly can on the internet, and I am going to record my findings for you guys today. As well as I am also going to do that for pre-seed, because me and my husband used pre-seed last month, and last month I had a chemical pregnancy. I read up on it a little bit because I was curious on it, that if, pre-seed causes miscarriages or anything. So I very, very lightly read on it that some people say that it can cause chemical pregnancies or false positives or miscarriage, or it just is terrible. And I never really read that when I was reading up on pre-seed. There's just a lot of people that either said it worked or it didn't, but nothing in between. I also noticed that when using pre-seed, only if when we used pre-seed, would I have spotting afterwards, or would it create spotting for a day, if not just a little bit through the night. So I'm going to also find out as much information about side effects and things like that I can on that, and record that as well. As well as I know that some people do have the same kind of shark month that I do, where it lasts a very long time. And when it lasts as long as it sometimes does, it can be really, really hard to deal with everyday life. Like getting tired, like it feeling like you're literally bleeding to death sometimes. And I do feel that way sometimes. And this may be too much information, but from my channel, you probably know that I'm not going to be hiding any information, and I'm not really the type to get embarrassed or be shy from giving information. So when I am on Shark Month, I have to use 2 pads, because if I use one, it's like it doesn't catch the blood fast enough, and so it'll go everywhere. And so for 2 weeks in the month, it's really, really, really heavy. Like, feels dangerously heavy, and I get really, really, really tired. Like, I can't go the whole day without taking like a 3-hour nap, and even then I'm still like, I want to go to bed at 8:30 and sleep until 10 a.m. And so like I just want to sleep, and I feel really crappy. I always feel like I have a cold, and it's terrible. So my mom has anemia and I don't, but she should be taking iron for blood, and so I thought of taking iron during the month to help with blood for me. And so this month I decided to take iron, and I took the 28 milligram thing of iron. So I'm just gonna fix on that. So I took this month during my Shark Month, and in hopes that it would, kind of help make the month a little easier. And it actually did. It wasn't as rough as it normally would be, but something's also off with this month. I'm not sure why. It's going on day. It was 20 days this month. So my little app is telling me. So it was 20 days this month. All the red is all the days that it was. So like that, the whole thing was Shark Month. Yeah. So we are going to go search some stuff now that I've been talking for like 12 minutes. So the first thing I am going to look up is the melatonin part. So I am going to go on Google. Alright, I can already tell this is going to be like a 50-50 thing. There's one that says like literally melatonin. Stop taking it now. So this is somebody that posted on one of the community walls called Florida Mom 007. Creative. Hi girls, hope y'all doing great. I did a search for any posts regarding melatonin, and I see that there are a few months ago, so I thought I would start a new one for any of you currently taking, thinking, or have taken melatonin to assist you with falling asleep. Several years, a doctor had suggested try taking melatonin to help me fall asleep at night. I had tried taking Unisum and Tylenol PM. Oh, that's gotta be bad for your body. And both were horrible. Oh, shit. I would be completely out of it for the entire next day. You're supposed to take those for, like, colds. To sleep. To help you sleep when you're sick. You're not supposed to take Tylenol every day. It's bad for your stomach. Even if I took half a quarter of the dosage, so I tried the melatonin and loved it. It relaxed me just enough to fall asleep, and it felt great the next day. I hadn't taken it since then, up until last summer when I took it a few times here and there. La, 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 la. We started trying to conceive last November and got it positive right away. My doctor said definitely stop taking melatonin, which I did. Unfortunately, that pregnancy ended in miscarriage in January. After my D&C, and while going through the grieving process, I was finding it difficult to sleep again, so I started taking melatonin again. And this time, every day for months. I've always had the 28-day cycle with a 14-day LP, tons of EWCM, I don't know what the fuck that is, slight ovulation pains, pretty textbook, which also is easy to get a BFP the first time. I think anyways, well, ever since the DNC, I've been taking melatonin every single day. I've had 25-day cycles, 26-day cycles, 24, 27, and so on. No CM to speak of, never. I've discontinued the melatonin at the end of August and October. My cycle is back to 28 days. I really doubt melatonin does that, but let's see what everybody else says. I don't like when people just randomly post things. And in an assumption, too. Like, I know taking melatonin during can be a bad thing, but a lot of women still do it. Like, you can take, I think, the maximum is 1 pill of 5 milligram melatonin, because when I seen my doctor, and she works at an all-female clinic, and I went to her about my fertility problems, and I asked her if melatonin could be the possible problem for it, and she said no, and kind of looked at me like I was crazy, and said if I was taking like 10 pills a night of 10 milligrams, yes, there can be some problems, but if I'm taking like 1 5 milligram pill, then it's fine to help me go to sleep, but any more than that isn't good, even just for the regular body without a baby. But people saying that melatonin causes miscarriage is kind of bullshit. But I will find something that actually says that. I want to find one of those MD, like, one of those doctor sites where, like, doctors can go on and actually put their medical thing on. I take 3 melatonin pills to help me sleep. Will it affect me getting pregnant? No. But melatonin is one of the hormones that controls the female reproductive organs. It helps to tell the body when to menstruate and how often to do it. You could quite possibly be throwing it all out by using it, and it can stop you from ovulating altogether. I got tested for ovulating too, and I've been taking melatonin for almost 2 years straight. Well, 2 years straight, actually. And she said my ovulation was fine. I still call bullshit on that, though. Yeah, somebody's getting called out on this. So I read this one that I just said out loud, where she's like, I wonder if, taking melatonin can affect getting pregnant and everything. And the one person's like, yes, it can throw everything off and all that, and stop taking it. And she's like, I really didn't think about it affecting fertility until I realized it was the only thing I could take that I was taking and then looked it up, and there it was. And then she's like, no wonder I haven't gotten pregnant yet. So another person's like, I'm confused. You just posted that you were 5.5 weeks pregnant. So I don't get it. So yeah. I'm no longer going to be looking on this website. That one that I was just on was babyandbump.momtastic.com. So I'm not going to look on that one anymore. And the one that I was looking on before, where she's assuming that melatonin, the one where it was like warning, that was Baby Center Community. Baby Center Community I sometimes look on. I don't really like. It's another one where people can just state their opinions and be like, I swear it's right. I mainly go on the internet to look for sites where doctors from all over the world are just like, here's my medical opinion. And like, it's funny when you can find ones where they actually argue with each other, because then it's like, then you kind of get to choose. This one is called Med Help. And don't get tricked into those things where it's like, ask a doctor now. Can't ask a doctor now. Here's one that I found. It's called Soul Sisters. It's spelt like assist. .net. And so one person posted, I just recently started taking melatonin and it has helped me. Now I find out it should not be taken while trying to conceive, and I can't seem to find out why. So then another person was like, where did you see that it's not supposed to be taken while trying to conceive? I've actually read that it can be good while trying to conceive. And if I'm not mistaken, CCRM now includes it in their standard IVF protocol. Someone correct me if I'm wrong, but it may be part of their pre-IVF protocol. Then you stop it when actually going through the stims. From what I've heard, it's supposed to help the egg quality, particularly in older women and those with DOR, as it is pretty good antioxidant. But again, all of that's just what I've heard and read online. So someone with more knowledge may be able to shed more light on the matter. And now here's where everybody that doesn't have a doctor's degree is going to give their input. So one of the other users was like, the previous user was correct. I took melatonin, 3 milligrams at bedtime leading up to the stimming for my IVF cycle. Melatonin is great for improving egg quality, and which is a big issue with women with PCOS. Here is information regarding melatonin and fertility. Yes, she did my work for me. Melatonin is a natural hormone produced in the pineal gland in the brain, and it helps regulate sleep patterns by resetting the internal body clock, and it can help insomniacs to sleep better. It is also helps in cases of seasonally affected depression. Most people know it as over-the-counter or prescription medication to help conquer jet lag, but melatonin may now have a new use. Scientists at the World Congress of Fertility and Sterility. I'm not saying the word right, but you know what I'm trying to say. In Munich, September 2010. That's a little while ago, but heard that women with poor eye quality have IVF treatments who were also treated with melatonin were more likely to get pregnant. The study, poor eye quality is one of the causes of infertility in women, and up to now, there has been no treatment available to help the condition. However, it seems that melatonin may now be able to do the trick. Apparently, melatonin helps to improve the quality of the egg by reducing the level of an oxidizing agent called 8-OHDG in the egg, researchers found that the women taking 3 milligrams of melatonin before their next IVF cycle had a 50% chance of their egg becoming fertilized compared to the less than 23% of the eggs of the controlled group. Following embryo transfers, 19% of the women taking the melatonin became pregnant compared to just over 10% of the women who didn't take it. Although this was a small study of only 115 women in the Yamagachi University Graduate School of Medicine in Japan, the results are nevertheless significant. Associate Professor Hiroshi Tamara, I'm not saying his name right, I'm sorry. The team's leader believes that the melatonin treatment is likely to become a significant option for improving quality in women who cannot become pregnant because of a poor egg quality. So that sounds like a good thing, but that was a really long time ago.
I noticed that a lot of the posts were from 2007 to 2010, but not very many of them were for like 2015. And so I decided to type in melatonin 2015. And so it brought me to drugs.com, no more be sure. And so it says, do not use melatonin if you are allergic to any ingredient in melatonin. You are taking that word. If you have a history of immune system disorders, liver disease, or stroke, you are pregnant or breastfeeding, says nothing about getting pregnant. Just saying. Before using melatonin, some medical conditions may interact with melatonin. Tell your doctor or pharmacist if you have any of the medical conditions, especially if any of the following apply to you. If you are planning to become pregnant, if you are taking any prescriptions or non-prescription medicine, herbal preparation, or dietary supplement, if you have allergies to medicines, foods, or any other substances, if you have kidney problems, depression, or history of seizures. See, it doesn't say not to use it if you're trying to get pregnant. It just says talk to your doctor, which mine said it was fine, but there's a lot of people that are like, I heard you shouldn't be taking melatonin while trying to get pregnant. So we are going to look for all the shit. All of it. So I'm on www.whattoexpect.com, and I'm reading what some people are saying about melatonin, in which I don't see, this is going to be kind of hypocritical of me to say, but the only negative thing that I am so far finding is from all these other women blaming it on melatonin. Like, I haven't read anywhere from a doctor or the people who, made melatonin or anything like that melatonin is bad. It's just all these women being like, I can't get pregnant. Melatonin is the reason. It's the only off thing in my life. Like, it couldn't be the fact that you take Tylenol every day. It couldn't be the fact of, you have infertility problems, or you know, what you're using, what you're eating, the amount of exercise you have. Like, I personally think melatonin is just fine. Like, I don't think melatonin is a problem. I'm kind of just doing this for other people because I know a lot of people have kind of the questions of, is melatonin actually safe to be using? And so far, the only thing that said that melatonin is bad for trying to conceive and can cause, you know, fertility problems is women saying that it's melatonin. So, just saying, but I think it's fine. Like, you can do your own research on it, but I think melatonin is just fine. And unless you can give me like some serious evidence that melatonin is you know, the reason why, then I'm gonna keep taking it. Plus, my doctor said it was fine, so go talk to your freaking doctor. Okay. I am on familydoctor.org and I typed in that I wanted to know what melatonin was made of because I would like to see what is so fucked up in it that apparently that can stop a baby from being made. So, what is melatonin? Melatonin is a hormone made by a part of the brain cell called the pineal gland. Melatonin may help our bodies know when it is time to go to sleep and when it is time to wake up. Melatonin supplements in pill form are also available. Two types of melatonin may be used in these pills: natural and synthetic, man-made. Natural melatonin is made from the pineal gland of animals. This form could be contaminated with a virus, so it is not recommended. The synthetic form of the melatonin does not carry the risk. If you are not sure if your melatonin is natural or synthetic, you should ask your doctor or pharmacist before taking it. Does melatonin have side effects? Some people who have taken melatonin have reported sleepiness, headache, or heavy head feeling, stomach discomfort, depression, or feeling hungover. Further study is needed to find out more about melatonin side effects, especially delayed or long-term effects. For example, we don't know if melatonin causes problems when taken with other medicines. Yeah. Okay. I've read all I want to read on melatonin. I already know that I'm fine with melatonin. This is more just for you guys. You're welcome. Okay, so the next thing that I have a few questions on that I'm going to use this for is the pre-seed. I'm kind of curious about it. The side effects. So I'm going to type in spotting after using pre-seed. But this one kind of caught my attention where it was like using pre-seed to try and conceive with irregular periods. I'm tired. I want to sleep. Oh god. This chair is not that comfortable. Okay. It's one of those ones where people can just have an opinion. They're not my favorites. Oh. This chair is not comfy. It's hurting my back. Okay. Hi, ladies. I have a very irregular period. So how should I go about using pre-seed if I have no idea when I'm ovulating? Use it every other day. That's what I do. I've not had a period in 4 months now, besides the time about 3 weeks ago when I had brownish discharge with some red spotting. So I'm interested in trying pre-seed. Will it work for me? I have no idea. Try it. I have the same problem. Obviously, nobody's gonna actually give any information. They're all just gonna be like, I have the same problem. Really? This one's on Reddit. Pre-seed side effects. I don't know. No, I'm not gonna read that one. I live in Canada. I had to order my pre-seed off of Amazon because I couldn't find it anywhere in Canada to save my life. I found it in Canada. It's at Shoppers Drug Mart. No, London Drugs. Sorry, my bad. I was at London Drugs trying to get those Gravol bracelets because my motion sickness is terrible. When I'm pregnant, dear freaking God. I feel bad for myself. Dude, it's so much cheaper on here. Pay like $43 for mine off Amazon. And this website, it's called the fertilityshop.com. And it has the pre-seed with the applicator, and you get 2 free pregnancy tests with the purchase. It's only $21. What's the difference between these two then? Okay, this one's from Baby Center Community. Hey all, hope are all well. I am back on the trying to conceive wagon after 3 consecutive losses. I'm looking for a bit of advice. 2 out of 3 of my pregnancies were used pre-seed and fell straight away. As you seem to have slight issue with dryness. So anyway, I read on some forums that there have been links to pre-seed and miscarriage. So we did not use it the last month, and we got a BFN and an AF this week. I really think the pre-seed helps me to get pregnant, but I am terrified it may have caused the losses. This person's like, why don't you give grapefruit juice a shot? A glass a day up to OV can really make a big difference to you. I also suffered with lack of CM. I don't know what that is. And was amazed by the difference it made quite quickly. Oh, for dryness. There we go. Do you also put your legs in the air after? I try and do a fucking headstand. I like put my legs up against the wall and like climb up the wall as high as I can until like my boobs are like suffocating me, and then I sit there. This person was like, I thought the exact same thing as you about the pre-seed, as every time I seemed to use it I miscarried. After my 3rd loss, I asked my midwife for her opinion. She kind of agreed that it does seem logical that it might be helping the less healthy mobile sperm into the fertilize the egg after I stopped using it, but still went to have a further 3 carriages, and now found out I have 2 blood clotting disorders. So I really doubt pre-seed had anything to do with it. I want to know about the bleeding after. I was kind of curious to know if pre-seed was causing the babies to die too. This one is Baby M Bump. I know I said I didn't want to go back on this site, but it said pre-seed and spotting. So I'm gonna read a little bit and see what they say. So this person had spotting after using pre-seed. Had some pink spotting, but not sure if it might be from the hard plastic applicator stitching and scratching inside me or something else. I am yet to use pre-seed. Never heard of spotting after using it. That is now 2 people that have said spotting, so now you know 2 people. You never know, maybe it's your ovulation. Literally 1 day after Shark Week stops, I highly doubt that's ovulating. This one person's like, try Conceive Plus, because you may be having an allergic reaction, so maybe I need to be looking up allergic reaction to pre-seed and see what it says. Reaction to pre-seed. There we go. I found it on the baby center. Yeah, there's a very few amount of websites apparently I go in. Okay, so this girl's like using pre-seed and soft cups and stuff. We used pre-seed this past 2 times. I'm thinking I'm allergic to either that or the soft cups. However, I've used soft cups a long time ago during my period, so I am leaning more towards the lube. Have any other ladies felt sensitive, have itchiness after using the pre-seed? It's not unbearable, it's just damn uncomfortable. No, I just have bleeding. There's another one that people are saying that you can get from Shoppers. Zestica. I'm gonna make a list of these things. I'm gonna try them all. This girl says she's completely broken out over hives after using the pre-seed. Why would you buy more? Okay, so this one is from Home Health. Want to know what the allergy to pre-seed would be. But it just gives an explanation of allergies, so never